As you grow older, your life changes before your eyes. You become older, wiser, and more successful in ways you never even imagined. Ever since you were born, you were growing bigger, stronger, and even smarter. It just makes sense that you would grow more successful. Children just start young and clueless, but give them time and they'll grow stronger and smarter. During the past decade, people have grown and now success is more relevant. It is clear that age has to do something with a person's success. The older you get, the more opportunities you get in life. And the more opportunities you get in your lifespan, the more work you get. If you complete your work and or your job, your occupation, then you become more successful within your life.
Kids who are older tend to do better, even through college. John Yedisti states children who start school at an older age do better than their younger classmates and have better odds of attending college and graduating from an elite institution. This would end up in more education, making the person more qualified for a position, which could lead to success.
Studies have shown that with age, children become smarter and more successful. According to Jim Taylor, PhD, who wrote the articles Your Values, Your Life, when people grow, they have to ask themselves how they can first find meaning, happiness, success, and connection in their own lives. This research shows that people can become successful. They just have to grow up and receive an education.
It shouldn't be a surprise to see children who are older excel in their classes, as they mature quicker and they are expected to behave in a more mature manner. Yedisti also goes on to say that the achievement gap could be equivalent to about 40 points on the 1600-point SAT. This shows that age can affect how successful you are, as children who are older tend to do better in academics. The idea was backed up by Neil Shaw, a student at South Windsor High School. What do you think the correlation between success and age is?
I think that as you get older, you attain more wisdom, and that helps you become smarter in certain aspects of your life, and then you can use that intelligence to excel in the things that you look forward to and doing, like your passions and things like that. So I think if you're doing your passion when you're older, it helps you attain success.
How does your age affect the opportunities you get?
Well, I think it's just like practical stuff, like for like certain licenses, like pilot licenses. If you want to start like training to become a pilot when you're younger, the age is like 16. So if you want to train in becoming a pilot, you have to be 16 years old. But you can like start at any age.
How do you think that age affects your knowledge?
When you get older, you usually experience more things in your life, so that those more experiences can give you different skills. So I think that's how it increases your knowledge.
What age do you think you struggle the most?
I think the age really depends on like when you go to college, because in college you're like stepping into the real world and you have to manage like previous challenges like your student loans after that. And I think it's such a big change, and that's why I think you struggle most.
Do you think that a certain age sets a certain expectation for you?
Yeah, I do think that a certain age sets a certain expectation. You're expected to behave differently. Like, as a child, you're expected to do, like, play with toys, but as an adult, you have to go and get a real job. So I think there's a bit of, correlation.
Do you think that people who mature earlier are more successful?
I do think that people who mature earlier are more successful, because when you're mature, that's the time when you really start focusing on your future, and that's when you do most of the stuff that brings you success later, and you don't do that as a child.
Would you say your age affects how happy you are?
Yeah, I do think that someone's age does affect how happy they are. But, like, I think it depends on, like, what part of the world they're in. Because at some certain ages, again, you get more rights and, like, more privileges. And that can really, like, play into how you use your resources and how you live your life. So, yeah.
What age do you think you have the most opportunities for success?
I think a young age, at like maybe 21, I think you have the most opportunities for success. Mainly because like most like privileges that you have are fulfilled at that age, and you usually have a clear idea for where you want to go next, and you can pursue that.
Do you think that maturity affects success? How so?
I do think that maturity affects success because when you're more mature, again, you have like usually the things that you do to impact success happen when you're mature. You usually don't think of them as a kid. So when you're mature, you can really focus on what you're going to do in your life, and that will bring you money, happiness, and maybe even fame.
If you were older, would your life be different? Would you be more successful?
If I were older, I think age, like as you get older, you get closer and closer to being able what you want to do, is like in a free country like the one we live in. So I think if I was older, I would get closer to being more successful because I have a job and I can actually do better in that job and get better at what I want to do.
This next interview is of a teenager named Jiva Shanmugaraja. He attends South Windsor High School and he is an honor student. He backs up the idea that success comes with age.
Alright, so my name is Jiva Shanmugaraja and I'm 15 years old.
Okay, Jiva, how would you relate age to success?
I necessarily think that since you can't really be young to have success, because you can have like preschoolers or elementary school kids just having jobs and making money, but like you're gonna have to be in your at least your college years, above 16 at least, to be I guess what I would define as success, which would be like wealth, a good family, good house.
Okay, if you were to become older, do you think you would have the same amount of success you have now?
I'm guessing I'd probably have way more because I'd have more resources around me. I'd probably also, again, have more money. I'd probably have a job. Just in general, I'd probably be more successful than I am right now.
So would you see yourself as being successful in the future?
In the future, yeah, in a couple of years.
Okay. Would you say that becoming older offers you more opportunities to be successful?
Yeah, when you grow older, you're kind of seen as more mature, more trustworthy. I guess, like, you can be given a job, you can be given certain opportunities that you can't be given when you're a younger age.
Okay. Do you think younger people can become successful too, and would you say that it's easier or harder for them?
I guess when you're younger, you can be successful. I think it's more like based on, I guess, luck or just you can necessarily, I guess, have more skill, but it would definitely be harder just because you're not considered enough of an adult or mature enough to be able to succeed.
Would you say you would have to be a certain age to succeed?
To succeed, I'd say you have to be at least done with your high school years, or at least I'd say maybe 16 to start.
So on top of that, then what would you say is like the perfect age where you think most people are successful?
I'd say your mid-20s is when you like possibly reach your peak of success.
Okay.
Some will say that being older and doing well in school is a coincidence. There may be some cases of where older students aren't as motivated or determined as younger students, but there is still a very visible correlation between age and academic success. Kids who are older have shown to perform better in academics time and time again.
Age affects our lives whether you like it or not. You can't do anything in this world if you don't grow up. That's why growing up and becoming mature is what every human needs. Without growth, there is no success. Gandhi once said, "A man is but the product of his thoughts. What he thinks, what he becomes." The more you grow, the more intellect you have on your life. You become what you want as you grow, so do what you want.